I have a strong belief that Asian community supported from 60s until now the labor. I think that shows itself that how much support you had. But in some cases, our community is concerned about the definition of terrorism. Don't you think so, that it should be defined in United Nations that what is the terrorism and what are the how you define terrorism, and in the world that how we go about and tackle it? That's the one thing. My second question is that in Southeast Asia, the biggest so far problem between India and Pakistan, and in fact is hampering the progress of the small nations around these two countries, their progress, and that is the Kashmir issue, which is not getting out of its way. I mean, you know the facts and figures, you must have yourself with you, that these progress, the people living in those areas, they are living in poverty, and why it is not, why there is no solution to this problem. Whereas the United Nations resolutions exist, there is a standard of any nation who should have a right of self-determination. So these are two issues, and the two points I have to ask. Thank you very much.
Well, the definition of terrorism, that's a program in itself. But I think I know what you're trying to say. We started the debate tonight with the Islamophobia and people labelling people from Islam as terrorists, and I tried to say that of course is not acceptable and is not what we would in any way support. What we're saying in relation now to people who want to harm, people who want to destroy us sitting in this room together with the hand of friendship, sharing food as we do, sharing jokes and fun and laughter, and still being able to respect each other, do not want that, because they want to control in a totally different way. And that is not anything to do with religion, it is to do with a power of a control, and that's been with us for some time, through different generations from different cultures. So to me, the answer always is the same. It's economic freedom, giving people the ability to feel that they have their ambitions, to have where children play, where children can play easily and as is said often, kick a ball around. You usually find that community lives in peace with each other. When you have the World Cup, which we're looking forward to from a soccer, when you have the Olympics, I mean, and Alan, I'm sure, would want to speak on this side of how sport brings people together, how music, how culture, the culture of your country, the wonderful, not only the scriptures, but the actual artwork, everything to do with a new culture. Learning about that brings us together. The Labour Party, the Labour government actually gave free access to the museums in our country. So important that people have access to learn about different countries. Our mosque here, our gurdwaras here are open doors to our community to learn from each other. That's the way that we deal with it.
They're two side by side, they are existing.
Absolutely,
that's the beauty.
Absolutely, that they
that's
do.
That's the beauty, you know.
When Anne talked about the helping the poor, I can give you a small example. When 5 years ago, the British government was giving about 16-17 million to Pakistan for overseas development for education, health and structure. Guess how much money that one is now? 85 millions. So this is a great effort by the Labour government to help for education, health and for the structure. So what we like to do is to do more in the coming years because of the special nature of the help our country need, because of the
Before I give the floor to Mr. Allen, I would like to thank...
Anne wants to say something.
Yeah, just a moment. The Managing Director of Takbir Television, Mr. Kahloon, with whom I'm responsible for the diplomacy side of the diplomatic enclave, you know. It is a premier channel of the United Kingdom and telecasting almost 24 hours, not for one particular faith, but on current issues, on great issues. And I am deeply, deeply grateful, and I'm sure we will be playing the entire program. And this is because the importance which we give to health, we give it utmost importance to health, you know.
Sky Channel is 845.
845.
All right.
It's a
Okay.
great premier channel.
Yeah.
And because we are not Marduk, but we don't envy him. But the thing is this, if somebody is trying to control the airwaves and trying to determine and define the political future through the airwaves, we don't accept that kind of work. No, no, not at all. Because at the same time, I want to say from the side of the journalist community, we do not see any writing on the wall that this party is losing or that party is winning. No, these are the people on the 6th which will decide. So I think Labour is very popular amongst the people.
Yeah.
Now I give the floor to Mr. Allen.
I'd like to say a little bit
Yeah.
about Murdoch
Please,
in a
please,
few minutes. But first
please.
of all, can I say I
Yeah.
like to put things in the most simple terms. Every afternoon during this election campaign, my team and I, we go outside a local school, each time a different school, and we take lots of red balloons with Labour on them, and it's a way of attracting the parents to come and take leaflets from us. It's not a trick, it's a lovely, warm, friendly thing to do. Now those children who come out of the schools, they see no difference between them and their colleagues, their classmates. They see them as just other children. And they're grandfathers of those children, sometimes their fathers, sometimes the children themselves came from countries all over the world. But they don't see any differences. And you asked us a question previously about Kashmir.
Yes.
The same we've got a problem in Palestine, in Gaza. All those problems can be solved if we look at it in one way only. I've an aversion almost to history. I respect history, but whoever owned and whoever invaded, whoever came there, whether it's right or wrong, when I visit schools, I plead with them. I say, look, don't take any notice of adults. Please, when you grow older and get in positions of power, please, you only have to do one thing: regard every child in the world as your friend and child. And if we do that, it doesn't matter what happened in Gaza X number of years ago, what happened in Kashmir, the Falklands. It doesn't matter, who was at fault. Just look at the children who were there and make sure that they are treated equally everywhere, and we'll soon solve the problems if we disregard what adults say about it, who are all influenced by history. Forget about history. Just look at those children and say they're all ours. Wherever they live in the world, they deserve running water, they deserve enough food, and they deserve education. And as long as we do that, the problems, special problems of Gaza or Kashmir will dissolve if we look to the rights of those children. And I plead with children whenever I'm at a school and I'm about to leave. I say, please promise me this. I came into politics for the next generation. Please promise me that you will ignore adults and just look at your friends throughout the world and treat them all as equal. And those other problems that adults caused and previous generations caused will disappear. It's relatively simple if we allow us to forget about all the surrounding rigmarole and everything else.
Because you mentioned Murdoch and communication. You could at some stage say, some years ago, different generations could say that they didn't know. But it's like I said a few minutes ago, we watch people starve to death on our television. We can't say we don't know. We watch people die of disease that we could fix instantly. A mosquito net has prevented millions of children dying from malaria. So a simple $1, they live on less than $1 a day. We know that happens in our world today. The floods in Bangladesh, those rivers in Bangladesh, the environment. Are we going to have environmental refugees very soon? Because how are we going to cope with the environmental change, and when those rivers banks burst again, and we've sent aid out so that the houses can be built higher, and but the reality is we will have environmental refugees, and where will people go? Will the first world still not want to accept these problems? Back to that global citizen, which Gordon Brown advocates so strongly, is what is required. And